believe that it's a really exciting time in the government technology ecosystem. First, because building technology for government is a powerful way to do good. If you want to work on hunger or homelessness, public safety or public art, environment, urban planning, government is the place to tackle all of those big challenges facing our society. It's also a huge financial opportunity. Right now, every year, US governments, from local all the way up to federal, are spending about $150 billion a year on technology. For reference, that's 10 times the size of the US video game market. It's a big spend. But we all know that government's a little bit behind the curve. Here in the Bay Area, it's obvious that in the last decade, the industry for delivering software and digital services has radically transformed, but government has been left behind. Healthcare.gov, a year ago, the failed launch put it on our public radar, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The truth is that from Washington to Sacramento to our own local communities, government is consistently failing to deliver effective public services for citizens. The good news is that some of our country's most talented entrepreneurs are tackling this challenge. From our own Code for America Accelerator and some of the companies you'll hear from tonight, to accelerators like Y Combinator, which explicitly asked for GovTech startups to apply this year, or venture capital fund Andreessen Horowitz, which held a GovTech event in DC this summer and participated in a $15 million Series A round for GovTech startup OpenGov, which makes financial transparency software. We're also really excited that Ron Buganim, the managing partner of the GovTech Venture Fund, is going to be speaking next tonight. His fund launched last month and is a $23 million fund to invest in GovTech companies. So all that's to say that in this rapidly changing market, there is unprecedented energy and interest and a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs.
So we've seen a lot of progress made by these innovative new companies, many of which you'll hear from in this room tonight. And before you hear from each of them, we'd like to point out some trends that we've been seeing from not only the successful companies, but also the mission-driven companies. And so we'd just like to take a minute to point them out for you.
The 7 qualities we're about to list for you may not seem radical for the people in this room, but for government, they are game changers. This market is rapidly evolving, and the companies that you're going to hear from, the companies who embody these values, are the disruptors. And the governments who are already working with them are the early adopters. The next wave of GovTech companies is going to look like this. The first one, again, won't be a surprise to anyone in this room. These companies use modern best practices to develop technology. What does that mean? It means that whenever possible, they're using cloud-based software as a service models to deliver continuous improvement to their customers. It also means that when they're building software from scratch, they're using a test-driven agile development process. And it means that they look for open source and off-the-shelf solutions when they can. Standard in the tech industry, but not yet for government. Governments are eager to try buying and building technology with these modern practices. In DC, for example, this summer, the White House helped publish something called the TechFAR Handbook, which helps federal agencies use agile processes to buy and build technology.
Another quality these companies have in common is designing for and with people, but not just any people, the people who are going to be utilizing the software. So this means doing user testing with the local government and local residents who will be using the technologies, which is common practice here in Silicon Valley, but revolutionizing the government market.
The third quality these companies have is that they charge less. There's been public outcry about the overspending on government IT projects, and these companies are winning and keeping government customers by delivering products at radically lower cost. They're seeing that at the same time that it's become cheaper to build and maintain technology, government budgets are shrinking, and they're taking advantage of that shift. They are saving their government customers money and time while still delivering a quality product and making a healthy profit.
Another quality is intra-government collaboration. So for example, one company you'll hear from tonight, MuniRent, allows governments to share heavy-duty equipment across municipalities. Or another alumni of our startup program, Smart Procure, allows governments to transparently see into other government purchasing to understand better pricing and better purchases.
Helping governments work better doesn't just mean helping them work together. It's also internal. And the companies you're going to see tonight deliver feedback to governments to help them improve their services. A key advantage of digital products is that it's really easy to quickly gather feedback and data about user behavior and user experience. But governments' processes are mostly still stuck in the past. They're using paper forms, brick and mortar offices, and the payment usually says mail a check postmarked by the deadline. These companies are working with governments to not just take those old processes and put them online, but also to help governments tackle performance improvement like never before. They're building these feedback loops into their product, helping governments do data-driven decision-making, and also helping them measure their progress towards delivering better outcomes for their citizens.
Additionally, open data is a hugely important quality among these companies. So there are transparency initiatives within government that mandate data be open to the public. And companies can help build this open data right in their software. So building things such as APIs that other companies, as well as civic hackers, can build on top of that data, and shipping with data standards that allow for interoperability.
The final quality that we think these companies have, the companies that are at the cutting edge of taking over the govtech market, is what we casually say is playing well with others. There's been a long trend of building for vendor lock-in in public sector enterprise software. And fortunately, government tech contracting is slowly moving towards modular and open, and this requires companies that, by default, provide compatibility, integration, portability. And what we're looking for is companies that embrace that change using open, simple standards and formats to work well with other technologies. So you're gonna click through them, but up here, okay. To recap, the 7 characteristics that we're seeing in GovTech startups who are at the cutting edge of this market, the disruptors who are driving change in the system. 21st century GovTech companies use modern best practices to develop technology, design for and with people, both inside and outside of government, charge less, help governments work together, deliver feedback to governments to help them improve their services, support open data, and play well with other technologies. So as you're listening to the demos tonight, I would encourage you to keep an eye out for these. If you're an entrepreneur in this space, think about how your company embodies these values and provides that new value to governments. If you're in government, I hope the next time you're looking at a solution or a vendor, you might consider if they fit this sort of modern wave. And if you have feedback for us on these, we're eager to hear it. Do you want to share? Yeah.
And so you can check it out at codeforamerica.org/companies. Email us at companies@CFA. And of course, tweet along with this event with the hashtag CFAGovTech. Thank you.